In today's class, we'll be looking at polysyllabic stress. The term polysyllabic actually refers to syllables that are more than 3, so 4 syllables and above. But in this lecture, we're going to use that term as a blanket term to refer to both 3 syllables and words that have more than 3 syllables. So 3-syllable words and 4-syllable words, 5-syllable words, 6-syllable words and above, will refer to all of them as polysyllabic words. So when we talk about polysyllabic stress, we're talking about placing stress on words that have more than 2 syllables. In dealing with stress, we must understand that stress is the emphasis, the prominence that we place on a syllable that makes that syllable more pronounced, louder, longer, and higher in pitch than other syllables within the same environment. Stress is important in English because English language is a stress-timed language. That means if you do not place stress properly in your English, you might elicit unintelligibility between you and your listener. So it's important that you stress your words correctly to avoid confusion or miscommunication. For example, the word present and present are 2 different words. One is a verb, the other is a noun. Present, a noun. Present, a verb. The spelling is the same, but they have different pronunciations and different meanings. Object, 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 object. The difference is that one object is a noun, the other object is a verb. Do not place the stress properly, there will be miscommunication. So it is important for you to distinguish between export and export, import, 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 import. So the difference is in the placement of stress. So stress is important for us to avoid miscommunication or miscomprehension when somebody is listening to us when we are talking. Now, for examination purposes, you're usually required to identify stress on polysyllabic words. In other words, you're given options and asked to determine where the stress is on that word. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to give you rules that will guide you in stress placement. Before we go straight on, we have to look at stress on 2-syllable words, because some of the rules there apply to polysyllabic stress. For example, in dealing with stress on 2-syllable words, syllables that contain the schwa, vowel number 12, they're usually not stressed. For example, in a word like salute, there's a schwa in the first syllable. That's why the stress is on the 2nd syllable. In a word like police, police, machine, machine, charade, facade, garage, you discover that the syllable that contains the schwa does not take stress. The same thing applies when the schwa is found in multisyllable words. Any syllable containing the schwa sound is not stressed. Apart from that, affixes, that means prefixes and suffixes, are usually not stressed. So watch out for affixes and prefixes when you are dealing with a polysyllabic word. For example, I want to pick a word, unwillingness. Unwillingness. If you look at the word unwillingness, you will discover that that word was derived from the process 6 of affixation. That means by adding prefixes and suffixes. Now the root word there is will. A suffix ing was added to get the word willing. Then another suffix, ness, was added to get the word willingness. And then a prefix, an, that means un, was added to give us unwillingness. Now, if you want to place stress on this word, unwillingness, for example, taking knowledge of the fact that prefixes and suffixes are usually not stressed, remove the prefixes and suffixes from that word. If we do that, what we'll have left is will, which is W-I-L-L. That means that syllable is where the stress is placed. So you see the importance of understanding prefixes and suffixes. Now, another thing you should understand is that some polysyllabic words retain stress on the primary word. Let me give an example. The word nation is stressed on the first syllable, that is the NA. Now, if I add AL to make the word NATIONAL, I have the word national. The stress is still on the NA. The reason being that the second syllable is a schwa. Since it contains a schwa, we cannot place stress on a syllable that contains a schwa. Now, the last syllable there ends like a syllabic consonant. And when we studied stress on two-syllable words, we learned that we do not place stress on syllabic consonants. Because we learned when placing stress on two-syllable words that 1. Syllables that contain the schwa are usually not stressed, and 2. Syllabic consonants are usually not stressed. Bringing this to the fore, we are able to understand that the word national cannot be stressed on the second syllable, neither can it be stressed on the last syllable. So which means we are left with placing the stress on the first syllable. And also, understanding the fact that some two-syllable words retain their stress when they turn to three-syllable words is very important for us to understand what we are dealing with. We are going to look at polysyllabic words proper. In polysyllabic words, we are concerned with the spelling of the word because the ending is what we are concentrating on. So we are going to be studying polysyllabic words based on their word ending. When I say word ending, I mean, for example, words that end in ION have a different stress pattern from words that end in ATE. So we are dealing with the ending of the word, usually the last syllable of that word. That is what will determine how that word is stressed. I want us to deal with two terms before we proceed. Penultimate syllable, that means the second syllable from the end. Antepenultimate syllable, that means the third syllable from the end. So when I tell you that a particular word is stressed on the penultimate syllable, I am telling you that it is stressed on the syllable before the last syllable. If I tell you that a word is stressed on the antepenultimate syllable, I mean it is stressed on the third syllable from the end. By implication, if a word has three syllables only, and I tell you that it is stressed on the antepenultimate syllable, the meaning therefore is that the word is stressed on the first syllable. That means for three-syllable words, their first syllable and their antepenultimate syllable refer to the same syllable. I will start by looking at words that end with ION. That's the first one I'm going to consider. But before I give you the rule for words that end with ION, I want you to understand at this juncture that stress placement has rules and exceptions. So there is no shortcut. There is no simple way of placing stress on polysyllabic words. So you have to increase the intensity of your interaction with these words to enable you to place stress on them naturally. Otherwise, you will have a problem with placing stress on polysyllabic words because we are not native speakers. Native speakers are the only ones who can place stress naturally on English words. But those of us who study English as a second language or as a foreign language, we have to study virtually every word ending to identify a syllable on which to place stress.